Hello and welcome back to Inside Out with Kris. I am Kris. I am excited today because I am going through some really common questions that I get from women who are inquiring about working with me. And these are things that I can guarantee that you girls listening, you are feeling these questions too. Now, the reason that I want to invite these questions to be at the forefront of this conversation today is because I have decided to open up 2 spaces for June through to August. So I'm opening up 2 positions for mentorship with me from June to the end of August. That is 12 weeks of working with me one-on-one, high proximity, close proximity, high level coaching with me. So if that interests you, I'm going to put all of the links in the show notes. You can apply to work with me and we'll see if it is an aligned fit. But let's dive into today's episode. I'm going to tell you some of the questions, some of the common things that have come up for me when I'm on calls with clients, past and present clients, and when I'm speaking with women in my DMs about potentially working with me. These are the things that mostly come up. So I hope that I can answer all of your questions before you go and hit that apply now link in the show notes. I only have capacity for 2 more women. So if that is you, I really, really, really encourage you to go and click the link today, get stuck into answering those questions so that we can work out if this is going to be an aligned coach-client relationship. One thing that I will say is if you are not where you want to be right now, like have a look at your life right now. And if you're not convinced that you're going to be able to change by August, like think about August, end of August. Where do you want to be? Do you want to be exactly where you are now? Do you want to feel exactly how you feel now? Do you want to have all of the same shadows and patterns playing out in your life in August this year? Or would you like to feel completely radically responsible for all of your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors? Would you like to have unlearned all of the negative things that have been keeping you stuck? Would you like to amplify your relationships with yourself, with your partner, with your siblings, whoever? Would you like to feel committed and disciplined with your goals, with your health, with your finances? Would you potentially like that idea of in business or that thing that you want to go and try to be something that you actually go and do? I have a lot of women that have made such transformative changes within this short period of time. Most recently, I have had one of the most incredible clients completely flip her life on its head. And in 11 sessions, that's 11 50-minute sessions, 11 weeks, this girl has gone from being in such a negative position within her life, which I'm not going to share the intimate and intrinsic details on that, to now moving interstate, starting brand new, being completely open to change, feeling worthy, feeling beautiful again, feeling embodied, feeling like she knows who she is. She's starting to know who she wants, because the version of her 11 weeks ago, this is a girl that had no worth, had no love for herself, had no idea how to honor herself. Just in 11 weeks, she has shifted so deeply. And I'm firstly so proud of her. But if you're listening to this, I know you can too. I know you can too. I see you. I see you listening to the podcast. I see you reading the books. I see you wanting to change more and go deeper. I see your potential. And I'm going to invite you to come and apply to work with me. Because if this is an aligned fit, then let's see what magic we can create. Let's see how you can change your fucking life in 12 weeks. I'm excited. Okay, let's dive into the questions. So we have here, let me just open up my phone because they're not in my notes, they're on my phone. Okay, so the first question is, I've done so much mindset work already. How is your approach different? Okay, great. So I am a master neuro-linguistic programming practitioner. So neuro being the mind, linguistic being language and communication, and programming being the way that we do the things that we do, our behaviors, our thoughts, our patterns, things like that. I believe I'm very different in my coaching style and in my mentorship style because I think out of the box and you also get to think out of the box. What that means is I'm not governed by a body of a university degree or a book that tells me what I can and can't do, how I can and can't say things. I'm governed by you, your needs, your results. I am completely guided by you and what I know intuitively you need from me in order to get where you need to be. And I will not hold back until you get there. I will not let you hold yourself back until you get there. I am not someone that sits and nods and just says yes our entire session. I will give you constructive criticism. I will give you empowering thought processes. We will also do a lot of the neuro-linguistic programming processes. These are very intuitively based. These are really empowering things like emotional change therapy, which is it is a beautiful visualization that allows you to release stagnant trauma in the body. I am also a hypnosis coach, so I've done a lot of work in the unconscious mind, and I'm very much guided intuitively by what you need, and I'm confident and I am convicted in getting you the result that you want. So yes, you probably have done a lot of mindset work, but if you haven't worked with me, you haven't done all the work. If you haven't worked with me, you haven't, and you're still looking at getting mindset work, there's plenty more to do, right? If you're not where you want to be, and you knew that you could be there in 12 weeks time, like honestly, why not? Like, why not? Now, the next thing is, I know what I want, so why do I keep sabotaging it? Great. So your unconscious mind, where you operate from 95% of the time, wants to keep you safe. It has a set of rules that it follows. So it will quite literally keep you stuck in the same path that you've always been. So it wants to go down the path of least resistance with everything that you say that you want to do. So even though you know what you want, as in like visually, logically, you can see ahead of time to be like, this is where I want to go. This is what I know that I need to do. Your unconscious can see that that might feel unsafe. Your unconscious can see that you may need to sacrifice things like your relationship, like your finances to get what you want. So it will keep you stuck in this sabotaging behaviors. It will pull you back into line of like, oh no, I just want to stay warm and cozy in this safe space. But we can explore that more, right? Because on the other side of fear is growth. And if you were on the edge of a cliff and you were to jump, right, which feels terrifying. Of course it's terrifying. But let's say that like your unconscious like, oh my gosh, no, there could be sharks. Like that's what we know to be true, because in the past when we've taken a risk, when we've jumped in to do something that we didn't know how to do, we have evidence that we failed. We have evidence that we got it wrong. We have evidence that we didn't make the right move. So that evidence is enough to be like, oh, unconsciously I'll pull myself back in, and I'll sabotage jumping off the cliff. But also what I want to bring forward is, what if there's fucking dolphins and mermaids and you have the best swim of your life? You don't know until you know, right? So that is the answer to that question. And I can probably like talk shit a bit more, but I don't want this episode to be too long. I've read the books, listened to the podcast. Why am I still stuck? Same answer applies here. You're stuck because you are wanting to stay safe in your comfort zone. You are wanting to stay where you've always been. Your unconscious will always take the path of least resistance, so it will keep you there. I want more, but is that selfish or ungrateful? So when you're saying that, so this question actually came in from someone recently, and what I said to that person was the term selfish and ungrateful. Let's talk about being selfish for a second. It's a label that you've created to have a bad notion attached to it, but it's not. First of all, selfish means honoring yourself. Let's get that really clear. If you're behaving in a way that is selfish, quite often that means that we're putting ourselves first and not someone else. So that simply means that we're serving ourselves. That can also simply mean that we're honoring ourselves. This question was in reference to finance, right? Because this is an investment. Because you're working with someone that has compounded the last 15 years of skills, techniques, knowledge, learning, unlearning, doing the work herself, going and doing the courses, going and doing the trainings. I have compounded everything that I know into what I do into a 12-week mentorship, right? So for that to happen, for you to have someone in your corner, what are you willing to pay for that? I can guarantee, like, let's say a night out. How many of us spend $1,000 on a night out? And let's be clear with that, which I'm talking about the spray tan, the nails, the shoes, the hair, the outfit. And then you go out and you spend, $300 if you drink cocktails or whatever it is, right? How many of us have spent that kind of money doing things, materialistic things that actually sabotaged our growth and sabotaged our evolution of self? The investment to work with completely transforming your life, what if it was guaranteed? What if everything that you did before, we know that didn't work, but what if in 12 weeks was guaranteed? And I can't guarantee your results for you. Only you can do that. I'll get you results, but you've also got to be the one getting your results, right? you've got to be clear. You've got to be committed. You've got to be fucking disciplined, because we're not here. A wise man once said, we're not here to fly kites. We are here to move the needle and get a result for you. So I'll move on. Do I need to hit rock bottom to make a radical change? Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not. Like, having a personal development coach or a life coach, because technically at the end of the day, I guess this is what I am. I'm a life coach, but I would prefer the term personal development coach. I look at all areas of your life, and let's just say all areas of your life, if you were to rate all areas of your life, health, relationships, money, business or career, self-love, spirituality, if you were to look at all the areas through that lens, could you rate all of the areas a 9 out of 10? Probably not. And if you can't, why? If you can't, does that mean that there's room for improvement? Totally. If, like, let's say relationships are 4, let's say business is an 8, how can you turn the dial up in relationship? How can you make that improvement in relationship? How can you put some energy into watering the grass, right? Because the grass isn't greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you fucking water it, essentially. So yes, working with me will always be a stretch. Absolutely. I've done a lot of work to get here. I've personally invested multi-6 figures into my own mentorships and coaching and skill sets and trainings. Multi-6 figures. So for all of that being compounded and for you to learn and take it away in 12 weeks time, like, yeah, of course it's going to be a stretch. It's supposed to be, because if it's not, are you going to do it? How many free ebooks? I'm curious. How many free ebooks to anyone listening do you have on your old desktop, on your MacBook? Like, how many free programs have you signed up for? And how many did you complete to the end and got a result? I'll wait. I know this to be true because I've done the same fucking thing. Okay. So yeah. I hope that answers that question. I hope that these questions and answers have brought forward anything that you feel like you didn't have information on. Of course, my DMs are always open if you want to speak more. But if this episode has deeply resonated, if this has empowered you and you're like, oh, I'm feeling the pull, drop in, click the link in the show notes, apply to work with me, and you will hear from me really soon. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I will see your beautiful face next week. I'll be in your ears 5 a.m. every Thursday.